Morning. So I wanted to talk about therapy today because sometimes I still really feel like it's a word which people don't like to use or admit. And I just wanted to remind you all that there's no shame around that. And it's definitely something that we could all benefit from these days. We live in such a fast-paced world. We're having to deal with so much. It could be older relatives, our own children, work relationships. There's just so much going on. And just another reminder that when we experience traumas, it doesn't necessarily have to be something massive like a death in the family or friend, or a car accident, or a relationship breaking down. We ultimately experience lots of little traumas every day, which our body holds on to and remembers. So anything that makes you feel uncomfortable or unhappy, like your response to it, it's always good to reach out to somebody if you feel like you need a little extra support. So the reason why I wanted to talk about therapy is because last year I spent the majority of it in some form of therapy. So I started off with a 6-week course at work, so at the NHS. And once that was complete, I actually attended a couple of group courses with a charity, I'm sure they're a charity, called Second Step in Bath. So there were two group workshops, sessions. And then I went on to some one-to-one work. So the one-to-one work actually started in July and finished in December. So I've never attended any form of therapy for that long before, and what it did for me was absolutely transformational, and I could not recommend it to anyone anymore. Like I say, I've never had therapy for that long before. What it did was it created so much space for me to be able to talk about so much of what has happened in my life, that when it came towards the end, I don't know whether my husband was slightly concerned or whether I just remember him asking me, like, how do you feel about it coming to an end? Which is a really lovely question for him to ask. And I just said, I actually feel like a completely different person from the beginning. And I would say that that started at the beginning of my therapy journey last year, not just um, the one-to-one work, because it just provided me so much space to be and time to do some inner work, which, like I said, I cannot recommend enough if you're thinking about it too.